Welcome again to another episode of the established 1982 podcast, the Geek Coach podcast, hosted by responsibly irresponsible adults that have loved video games, comic books, movies, and TV ever since 1982. I am Wally Anna, the lawnsman, and is joined by the gatekeeper of civility and order. One Rolls Royce is here in the building. Yes, and today we are discussing, as a result of an article that I was sent from a good friend of mine, we're going to discuss the New 52. This is, the 10-year anniversary of the DC's dropping of the New 52. The Polygon.com did an article, pretty much, it's basically a...
expose.
Yeah, an oral expose. It's almost like a text version of a documentary of sorts. Very long article about all the things that went on at DC during this monumental rollout of what was to be a reboot of all the main players, the entire DC universe, included with the addition of some new non-superhero stuff. Even they discussed that they hoped would take off. So very interesting outlook on those who were employed, writers, editors, artists, all kinds of stuff, man. And man, there's a lot of commonalities in what's going on in the comic book segment of DC as to what's going on in the movie division.
Right.
So the New 52, 2011, kicked off in 2011. I wasn't aware that the attempt that was to completely rewrite this stuff from origin up.
Yes.
That's amazing to me because, you know, Rose, how often do we talk about the importance of lore and history and source material and how people are, this is who they are, and you know, this was a prime opportunity to do all of the things that I guess people are doing now, taking liberties, you know, with a character at a time,
right?
Change it, but yet not brave enough to completely try to change him. And if they do, they call it like Elseworld. They won't. They'll let you know we're gonna do this for a couple of issues, but we're gonna go back to good old Martha and Thomas Wayne getting shot in the alley. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna deviate, you know, from that or anything like that. This was supposed to be that. This is supposed to be, we're going to reimagine everybody and recast them in a different light, and we're going to just start over. I thought that was ambitious, and I wish that it could have happened. I mean, what do you feel about an endeavor to change comic history? Because it's almost taboo to those of us in the geek community to even touch these people. And the thought that they were trying to do it for the purpose of, you know, drawing in a new crowd, younger crowd, and rekindling an interest in comics.
Yes. I was in for it. I was nervous, but
as were
yeah,
like people involved.
Like when I was saying like an image of like for example Superman, like when they did the first image of like we're gonna do like a New 52, like they had him like that iconic, you know, lifting up the car. But he had like a Superman T-shirt on, yes, and like jeans and some Timberlands. So I was like
how Connor looks now, like in
right.
Like,
and I was like,
well,
no, like I don't.
What is it about the jeans? Like, and see, that's the type of stuff that I'm pointing to.
Right.
We don't like that. Why is that? Why don't we like that?
Well, I think and that's the deal.
If the content is good, why don't we like it?
It's for us, but it's not for us as a business. Again, like,
right? Because they said it in this article, in this lengthy article, that the goal was to try to get a new and more youthful audience,
right? Because
the interest was waning.
Yes,
in comics, right?
Yeah, and I think the comics industry, and this is Marvel and DC and any other comic book publisher, I think they're competing with technology. Like, my kids don't read comics per se. They do. Mm-hmm. Like, I take them to the comic book store and I introduce it to them, but if they got their iPad, they got some moving pictures. Man, that comic book is in the trash. Like, so I think when we were growing up, that's all we had. Like, if it wasn't TV, it's reading a comic book or playing with the action figure. So I think they had a Herculean task to try to bring a new audience.
Yeah.
And then also, too, this was right at the cusp of, the superhero movie boom. So, like, people are not reading comics. They're just going to the movies now. That's their comic book now. Yeah. So,
there's a lot of, technologically speaking, there wasn't nearly as much then, and it doesn't seem like it. But 2011, they didn't have a lot of stuff what we have now. Imagine trying to do that now. It's virtually impossible.
Right.
It was hard then. Right. Imagine now.
Like when did the iPhone, all that stuff?
2010, right?
20 somewhere in there. Yeah.
2010.
Yeah.
First one. Yeah.
Right.
Like that. So it wasn't. Well, we weren't that deep to where we needed. There because without that, there's not all these tablets and stuff like that where you're able to watch this stuff, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? You still need a printed media. So it made sense.
We need to do research on what caused the drop off. Because apparently after my generation, like for example, I went to the comic book store religiously when I was in middle school, high school, college even. I still went to the comic book store. There were probably some guys like me that, like, when they got to college, like, well, I ain't gonna do comics because I'm in college. But I still stuck with it. But in that journey, I just noticed it was just us. It was just people my age. Yeah, I didn't see kids going into the comic book store. That's right. Yep. I think I think like kids were the generation after us, the millennials. I think it was maybe more like Dragon Ball Z, like Pokemon, a lot of anime. Anime kind of took the place of comics. I feel, but I would love to. That might be a different conversation or a different episode where we figure out what the drop off is.
Man, what's interesting
in the genre, because yeah.
But
DC has, they definitely had a challenge there.
But what's interesting about the article, they don't cite any of that type of stuff being the issue. Most of it was in-house inconsistencies and, quite honestly, a lack of a concrete plan on how to execute.
Well, and I also find that interesting that there should be. Here's the reason I'm hesitating. I'm gonna say this. Okay. I'm gonna say this. Okay. I used to work for a unnamed cable company. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when streaming services like Netflix and Hulu start coming into view, and more people are like, "Hey, I'm cutting the cord. I'm not gonna subscribe to cable."
Right. Yeah.
As employees, we saw that coming, and we would ask these questions over and over again. Yes. Hey, what are we doing as a company to combat, to pivot, and be relevant? The times are changing.
Maintain relevancy. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be doomsayer here.
No, but what is the plan? We don't want to go out like Blockbuster.
Correct.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got YouTube. And you have all the stuff, and I won't go too far. Yeah. But like, I think, I guess the point I'm trying to make is, I think as a company and a genre and a medium, I think, I don't want to call it arrogance. I think there's just like huge blind spots. Like, well, we just do comics. And it's like, but hey, your medium ain't hot no more. Like,
right. Yeah. Like newspapers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They what you gonna do?
Right. And you see,
online, you're gonna have to do something.
Right. And then you see documentaries where it's right. And you see documentaries where like when comics first got started, like it used to be guys and girls reading books.
Yeah, because
And
they
then-
had more than just superheroes. They had
Right.
like the little kind of like soap opera-ish kind of stuff too.
Right.
And which I found interesting, like in this article, they cite
Right.
bringing that back.
Correct.
Stories outside of the superhero to get people,
Back into
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
into
yeah.
reading. Yes.
but they didn't have a plan. Didn't
Right.
look like, at least
Right.
as far as the superheroes were concerned.
I'll take it a step further. I don't think literacy is
What?
uh,
Come on.
very nice.
What?
I don't think literacy is a focus now in our country.
That might be facts. Seriously,
And
'cause
social media, like,
well, I mean,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
facts though, because man, and we're kind of derailing a little bit, but they imagery and symbols take the place of good old fashioned words anymore, just to make sure that everybody, they can get everybody's money.
Right. Reading a comic requires that.
You know how to read.
Well,
Right.
but I think there's people that just don't want to read.
They don't want to read.
Right.
That's facts.
Give it to me. Hey,
Yeah.
give me the 30-second sizzle reel. Like,
Yeah.
get to the point.
30-second TikToks.
Right.
Quick Instagram reels.
Yes. So, point I'm trying to make here is, I guess, to pivot back to DC. I think somebody there was saying, "Hey guys, I know y'all doing a reboot, but the bigger issue is out here, because it doesn't matter if you reboot if there's nobody going to the well. It don't matter, So I think there was some of that at play with DC, to be honest. with you.
Yeah. That and
And then Marvel on the movie side was starting to heat up.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna put it on
the
we're gonna
movie
put it on
side, not
screen.
the comics.
We're gonna
but-
put it in the screen on the screen.
Right.
Do you? Dan, we supposed to be talking about New 52, but do you think Marvel even cares as much about their comics anymore? Because it seems like they're just the well from which they draw to get stories for their movies.
Well, I think the
Right?
comics division cares because they have a
They're
vehicle.
separate. They're separate entities. Yeah.
Right. I think the comic. I do think they care because they have a vehicle that's making a lot of money that's using their IP, which we'll talk about in a different episode. But yeah, I mean, so I think they're concerned as well. So, but yeah, with the New 52, I think they just wanted to like reintroduce it. They purposely inserted controversy. We're going to take these iconic characters that have 80, 75 years in the game, and we're going to tell a new story. But ironically, some of the stories wasn't like a big departure.
They weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't.
It wasn't like Superman was from a different planet.
Yeah,
or
no.
I mean, it was
they
still,
kept it pretty much the same.
right. It was just like, updating costumes and I love Jim Lee's designs on Justice League. Like that Justice League run was it had that feeling of sort of that same feeling that I had with X-Men when X-Men came out when he did that run. So
You really have to have a plan because you're rebooting characters that they created without the intention of them interacting as units, right? Like Batman was separate, Superman was separate. They didn't really have them together. So now you're trying to reboot and see to it that they coexist again. So that's where your continuity coordinator, or whoever that person is going to have to work, or those people are going to have to work extra hard to make sure that these people, if their lives collide, whatever's happening over here in this book, and they were mentioning this in the article, you have a Superman in this book that doesn't appear to be the same Superman
right.
in the other book when they're supposed to be, and it's almost as if the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing, and there were no conversations. And you can't reboot a universe in which these characters will interact without having a plan.
Correct.
On how you're going to write these stories. Because if I write something, for example, and I know that I want it to happen, I don't need someone else writing something that completely contradicts that.
Correct.
And so now you have this going on. So how do you fix it? Now you got problems between writers or whatever. And then let's look at the fan aspect. We just got through talking about it. I don't like them with pants on. There was a part in the article where they were teasing Wonder Woman in pants. That didn't go over well. They had today.com, NBC had an article, they had a link to the article about, outrage Wonder Woman with pants, which I find ironic, very ironic, because either they don't have enough clothes on or she got too many on. What is it? If she doesn't have anything on, she's being sexualized. If she's got pants on, pants, so they completely got rid of the idea. Like they posted like an ad campaign over with the pants on, but then when the books came out, they had scrapped it because the fans are fanatics, right? That's what fan is, and
the fan base was predominantly male.
Yeah. Take those pants off.
Yes, we want our superheroes sexualized.
Yes, right. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Like right now, I believe you could put pants on Wonder Woman and get away with it now because the climate's different. You know what I'm saying? Because now Me Too. They be like, why are you doing this? Why are you making her run around here with no clothes on? Which in my mind, what does it matter? They got bent out of shape about the Red Nightwing. And the guys in the article saying, man, it's not about that.
Right.
It's about him.
Right.
But people couldn't get past the non-blue outfit. Like, what are we doing? What's wrong with Red Nightwing? What? Like, and so you got the fan angle.
And with the fan angle,
so
and forgive me for sounding
because
elitist.
they're the ones that buy your book at the end of the day.
Right.
So you don't want to piss them off.
Right. And the problem is with geek culture, when we playing with our toys in a sandbox, don't change our toys.
Don't change them.
Don't change them.
Yeah.
Even in adulthood, don't change.
Don't mess with them. Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's people that are probably still barking about why Batman got a yellow circle around the bat.
Yeah.
And that's always been a thing.
Yeah.
And they kind of go.
They explain that, right?
Right.
The whole drawing the fire to, yeah.
Right. But then you still have costumes that don't even
use it. Yeah.
Right.
They want them completely.
But that was a controversy at one point, too.
Yeah. And Superman with the trunks, the little underwear.
Yes.
Versus, people, don't take the underwear away. And then you had some that liked the Man of Steel.
Yes, I did.
I love the Man of Steel. I don't need draws. You know what I'm saying? Draws on the outside.
It was stupid.
I never liked draws on the outside.
Fine. It was fine when we were kids, you know. But
I mean, even the figurine in here in the studio, he's dope. That's Superman. But, you take the draws away. I mean, they ain't doing nothing. They on the outside. Red draws. What you mad about red draws being taken away? But that's the type of stuff fans get mad about, and they were running into down there at DC when doing the New 52. It's like, okay, if we're gonna, the only thing we can do is change the clothes. God forbid if we try to change any of these backstories which they said they would try to do. But to your point, they're not gonna make Superman not from another planet, or they're not gonna do broke Batman.
No,
they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. So the most they might be able to do is introduce a new villain or something like Court of Owls. Right. And
which one of
the gems that came out of there, now Court of Owls is a thing and will not go away. They are, entrenched in the lore in Gotham City now. And I love it.
Well,
Court of Owls was great.
And I would say that that's a positive of New 52, that there was some storylines that came out of there where there were some writers that really came up through New 52, like Scott Snyder. I mean,
he was scared. Like,
right.
They asked him to do a #1 for the first time in a
I would freak out. I would have a panic attack.
Panic attacks at the breakfast table.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just like, man, you want me to do what? Like, yeah, that's a huge responsibility. Like, you messed that up. Mess that up if you want to.
Right.
You got problems. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't like you messing around Batman and
yeah.
A reboot.
Yeah. But I like the way he had the court of owls entrenched in the lore of the city Gotham.
Yeah. Like they've always been a thing.
Batman has always been tied to Gotham.
Yep.
And his family is so rich that it's like the Rockefellers. There's like in the United States it was like the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts.
That's right.
It's
Gotham's elite.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
that was well thought out.
What if there was a secret society of people just so rich and
running Gotham?
Right.
And that's Yeah.
So I love that. Yeah.
It was excellent.
Yeah. So that's a way to write something in with a storyline that's already existing.
Right.
And it felt organic.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why it stuck. Now, when you just like, we're just going to make Gotham on a floating disc or something like that. It's like, no.
You can't do that. You changing it all the way up.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So there's not much you can do with Superman in that regard. It's tough.
Right. I mean, there were some gimmicky things, and I fell for it. Like they had the villains in the New 52. They had the villains.
That looked like a really good idea.
Right. Yeah, where they just focus on the villains.
Yeah.
In the book. So like, there was a Superman book, and then Lex Luthor, like they X'd out Superman, and then Lex Luthor's name is on the book, and it's primarily about him. So I like that, and they had the lenticular covers and all that stuff. Yeah. I still got those. They're nice. They're really nice, high quality.
What was the reception of those, man? Because most folks don't like to read no villain stuff, man. They just I don't know what it is. Villains don't move the meter by themselves as a rule.
Right.
Unless you're the Joker in a movie and it's rated R.
Right.
Other than that, we don't care. Like Joker's the only one that would get that kind of play.
I felt like they were moving units when those books were coming out.
Yeah. What was it, Year of the Villain or something like that it was called? What was it called?
Forever Evil.
Okay, that was called. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, they had Villains Month where each one of those books they put out a villain book, and then that led into a series called Forever Evil.
Okay, I got you.
Right.
I got you. It fed into it.
Right. So,
like they had really, I just find it eerily similar with what's going on in the movie studio at WB, right? This lack of communication or synergy and a roadmap on it's like they know what they want to do. They know where they want to go. They just have no idea how they're going to get there. Right? Like
in the New 52 case, I really feel like they had the idea was great, but there was no boundaries. Like, okay, guys, like, yeah, we're rebooting this, but let's have some guardrails on this thing. If you leave it up to the writers to just write willy-nilly.
Right, without getting together and talking about what they're going to do.
And this is not calling out any writers.
No, but absolutely not.
But how many podcasts have we talked about where we clearly point back to the writing and go, no, this was lazy writing here.
Yeah.
You just didn't even bother.
Yeah.
Or you were just like, it's too hard. Or I'm going to retcon it just because I don't want to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where the writers needed support from maybe the leadership. I don't know whose shoulders to put that on. I don't know if it was, Dan DiDio was running it.
Mm-hmm.
Dan DiDio and Jim Lee were running it. It would seem that they would say, hey guys, like don't don't veer too far off. Like, don't have, Superman over here with pants and a T-shirt on, and then you have this other one that got a dope
got the
costume.
draws on. Yeah.
Or no, he didn't.
Yeah.
The Jim Lee one.
Yeah,
had
he did
the,
not.
Like,
he did not. Yeah.
Like
the
it
full
almost
body
looked
kinda-
paramilitary.
Yeah.
I like the collar, and
Yeah.
people were arguing about the collar. Like, I don't like the collar. I loved it.
I wonder how much had to do with the responsibility and the timelines. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get put on a timeline, man, it depends on who you are,
Right.
and it gets tough. We need this written,
Yeah, get this book out.
And every writer's not the same. You
Right.
might have those that can say, "Hey, I don't need much time," and then you got others. If you want their best work, you're gonna have to wait for it, like a Dr. Dre LP.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not
that
gonna
long.
get.
Not on those books.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you be waiting. Yeah.
the detox of writers.
Right.
But you know what I'm
He's
saying?
a Sade of hip hop, because I be waiting like 8 years. She
Sade,
comes out
right.
every
Right.
8 years. She drop
but it be that flame,
Right.
when it hits.
Yes.
So you got writers like that, man.
Right.
And so, and if you take them out of their element like that, and you force them to write some stuff, and I'm not saying that this is true or this happened down in DC during the whole New 52 thing,
Right.
but there's a very good possibility that you might have had some. You're already under pressure, right, to do
Right.
this huge, unprecedented reboot of the DC universe
With no roadmap.
with no map.
With no map.
Get a story.
Yeah, because most of these writers were used to going, okay, here's continuity,
Yeah,
here's a history
nothing,
that I've...
nothing.
Right.
Just sandboxing it. Just brand new. Just get in there.
Right.
And so you got, a timeline. Do they really have time for all these writers to get together and come up with some type of continuity plan? Or do they just say, here's the freedom? And that's what every writer, I'd imagine, wants. The freedom to do what they want, right?
Right.
Let us be free and come up with stuff. And then, of course, you got to bounce it off the powers that be.
Right.
Take these pants off Wonder Woman, whatever.
Yeah. And even that, I don't know if that was pandering or they were like, okay, well, we're rebooting it, so let's. It just felt heavy-handed, like. I know this sounds contradictory, but like some of that stuff, when I hear it, sometimes I feel like it's just, well, Wonder Woman got pants on. Girls, y'all come back now. It's like, no.
Right.
Why don't you make the story that the girls want to come back, the women want to come back to?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, though. Story never hooks.
That's true.
You need images to hook.
That's true.
And that's tough, right? You
And
gotta put them
is-
out there.
And comic is
a visual medium.
It's a visual medium, yeah.
You ain't got no trailers
Right.
where you can show her running around doing her stuff with pants on. So you got to put a press release out with her with the black pants on.
Right. Yeah, it's kind
So
of,
it does feel panderish in a way, but they don't have another alternative.
It was rough. It's New 52 was rough because it's like, I wonder if they were just like, okay, well, if we just free everybody up and don't have any guardrails,
let's see what
happens.
That's never a good idea.
Yeah,
that's never a good idea. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah,
no,
because sometimes there's things that you just can't reinvent. Like for example, why would somebody try to come and reinvent YouTube? Like YouTube is the GOAT. Like it's like
it is.
I mean, there's other.
All you can do.
There's
is
Vimeo.
But
Vimeo is
it'll never be.
Yeah, they'll say, well, hey, you can upload and it's gonna. Yeah, the
don't
videos
matter.
It doesn't matter.
They got their own streaming channel. Yeah,
right.
You can't beat YouTube.
Kids
anymore.
don't go to Vimeo.
No, no, they don't.
They don't go to
Vimeo. They don't care.
Right. YouTube.
That's correct.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Yep.
So
they are literally the Kleenex of the game.
Right.
Vaseline.
Right.
Q-tip.
Right.
This is what it is. The gold standard.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ambitious endeavor. I would have liked for it to work, but to do that, I don't think they counted the cost, man.
Right.
They didn't count the cost. Great idea. Because I would like to see a reimagining of Superman. Because quite honestly, some of these people are just way too overpowered. They can't even write Superman without going through hell and hot water, man.
Yeah.
They have to, because they wrote the dude way back in the 30s, and so
yeah, I it's interesting. Every time we talk about certain things, I know we probably got to wrap up too, but every time we talk about particular things, like for example, Star Wars, or things that are like institutionalized kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I feel like geek culture just gets like.
Uh-oh.
I feel like we're just we're latched on so tightly, and we don't allow for innovation. We don't allow for. I'm sounding really elitist right now.
Well, go ahead and make it.
I just feel like we get so in arms when they decide to change something. It's like, hey man, relax. Let them do that
and let us see what happens.
Don't call it trash as soon as it comes out. Right. Like when I saw the shirt and the pants, like I was guilty. I was like, man, I don't like that.
Like the pants.
Yeah, I was like, this dude got got Levi jeans and some Timberlands on.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks kind of funny considering the type of stuff that he likes to do. The flight, the aerodynamic nature of the outfit made it work.
Right.
Streaking through the stratosphere with some Timbs on looks funny.
Yes.
I get that.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah, so
that's more of a Luke Cage kind of thing. He, street level, I'm gonna stomp you out.
Right. Yeah, and it's just it
it
didn't
don't
feel
work
right.
Right.
I know that's more of an image design thing, I think. Maybe
that's all. Right.
Right. But
I feel that.
But I just feel like geek culture doesn't allow
the
rope is very short.
There may be it's
right.
a tiny leash.
And I commend DC for at least trying. I think in the spirit of it, I really enjoyed. I thought it did bring a new freshness. I didn't understand some of the new characters. Like there was like Silencer and like Damage, which was gonna. It just looked like DC's version of the Hulk. And I was just like,
just reimagine Solomon Grundy or something.
You had Solomon Grundy. It's like
do Solomon Grundy.
Right.
Do it.
You already had a bevy of characters.
Yeah.
You just don't bother to go back and revisit.
I don't know how good of an idea is to introduce new characters. And this is me always talking about, well, why don't you be original and come up with some new ones? But if you're rebooting all the old ones, you got a big catalog.
You don't announce.
Don't stress yourself out.
Don't announce a new character. Let the new character organically
come in later after you've done. Make
Red Hood. They didn't go, well, Red Hood.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
That's right.
Who's Red Hood?
Yeah, they need to be created as a result of what's coming, as offshoots of, these other characters' lives.
Correct.
You need to make that stuff happen.
Right.
Yeah. That's how you do that.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I hated that it didn't, but like you said, man, it's a medium right now, man.
Lasted 5 years.
Yeah.
But it was like 5 years of just like
inconsistency.
That and just different, like it just became more. I mean, I know that's comics. Like there's always like epic crossover event just so you can buy other books. That's the other thing. I don't know if that model needs to change. I don't know. Because I don't know if people are buying books like that.
They were saying in the article they didn't want to do a whole lot of crossovers early because they wanted to establish these characters first before they started crossing them over and things like that. But at some point, you do have to do that if you want them to. If you want your subscribers, your readers to venture out and see what these other characters are about, like the Naomis,
right? Right.
You had a link to Superman in a small way.
Right. But that's post New 52.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying that's just an example of what I'm saying to kind of.
Yeah, I feel like what they're doing now is kind of like just stay in that lane.
But they're doing a character at a time as opposed to the entire universe, which is what made New 52 such a heavy lift, man, and unprecedented in nature.
Right.
So
I think if it was more organized, I think it could.
yeah, if they had mapped it out, I believe it could have worked.
Right.
But they probably I can't even imagine the amount of work that would go into mapping that out. And I don't know how in a hurry they were to try to get on top of the comic game, because apparently they were for a real hot minute when they did it.
Yeah.
And then it fell off precipitously.
They spent more time defining the multiverse. I do think they did that ad nauseum because now that has carried into the TV and movie realm now because we're all over the place.
The Earth 6-1, all these Earths. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah. Anybody out there, did they enjoy? What did you enjoy, particularly about the New 52? Let us know. You can hit us out on patreon.com/EST1982 podcast, and you can pledge your dollar as well as your time to the podcast, help keep these lights on. But even if you don't, we do appreciate your time, whether it's spent there or on Facebook. The Facebook group is lively. Instagram, both EST1982.com. EST1982podcast.com, excuse me. And so just let us know, because I know that we have some comic enthusiasts out there, can probably speak more intelligently than I can or either of us can as it relates to the New 52. Let us know what you think. Give us your opinions. Did you like Red Nightwing or not? I mean, stuff that I feel is just really inconsequential. I just really don't think that's big of a deal, but apparently it is. They want their Nightwings and their Supermen and their Wonder Women to look a certain way.
Right.
So, just let us know. I wish it would have worked out, but it is what it is. We got a few gems out of it. I still enjoy the court. We about to get a game featuring the Court of Owls, as a matter of fact, here in this Gotham Knights. When
is that coming out?
Man, I don't know. They keep pushing it, man. Well, in 2022, I guess.
Yeah.
Now.
That and Suicide Squad, I guess.
Yeah.
They're warming up with that one.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they need. Yeah, I know. Video games, comic books, movies, and TV. We talk about it all. We're not even supposed to. But again, thank you all for your support. Let us know what you think as regards to this conversation about the New 52. Until next time, people, we'll holler at you.